Kitty, how about you? Most exciting game you ever played?
You know what? I have to take advantage of the opportunity. It was the All-Star game in '83. I was elected. I batted twice, had fun. It was packed house, standing ovation. Local kid plays on the White Sox, play at Old Comiskey Park. Nothing louder. George Brett just said, he goes, "That's the loudest ovation he's ever heard in his entire life." And I said, well, it's pretty special to me too. So I got to bat. I got a single. Then I batted against Lee Smith, and he struck me out at 103 miles an hour. And I kind of pointed to the roof, and he went like this and said, "Kitty, you're going to try to hit this thing?" So after the game, the umpires said to me, or the reporters go, "You couldn't hit Lee Smith." I said, "I can't hit a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, let alone 103." But I said, I was swinging. Maybe I might have lucked out and hit something. But that was definitely one of the highlights of my life. But I have to say the best game that I ever stayed as a player was I was with the Yankees also. Wade Boggs and Don Mattingly were going for the batting title. And literally, Don Mattingly had to go 6 for 6 to beat Wade Boggs. And Wade Boggs sat out the last game. Don Mattingly hit 5 hits in a row. And Wade Boggs was in the dugout for the 9th inning putting on his batting gloves. And I mean, I'm a fan, and I'm pumped up, and I'm hitting right behind Donnie. And all of a sudden, Eddie Romero's playing third base, and Don Mattingly smokes a line drive to left field that Ed Romero snow cones it, which would have been his 6 for 6 hit, and beat him for a batting title. And all of a sudden, I mean, I had the goosebumps out of my arm. When you're competitive, you want to see that kind of action.
I had an interesting story, I'll tell you, too. On the Yankees, Reggie was hitting 4th, and I was hitting 5th. And he had 399 home runs. So Yankee Stadium was packed in anticipation of his 400th home run. So he bangs it out, and I'm the first guy to greet him at home plate. So you just don't shake the guy's hand when he just hit his 400th home run in the big leagues, right? So I embraced him. I said, "Yeah, Reggie," and I'm hugging him like this at home plate. And some guy from the Daily News takes a picture from down the right field line, and the headlines in the paper, "Reggie hits 400th home run and receives kiss from Soderholm at home plate." It looked like I was sticking my tongue right in his mouth, man, like this, from the angle that the guy took the picture, man.
Oh, man. Billy Martin, was he crazy?
Billy had he managed me with the Twins, and I got a little bit of taste of him in the big leagues, but he liked to play the veterans, so I never really got to play under Billy other than some spring training games. I would say Billy was a motivator with fear. He had like a small man complex, that sometimes when you're small, you want to prove somebody you can kick somebody's ass,
Mm-hmm.
So he had that kind of mentality. You saw where he took on Reggie Jackson in the dugout that time in Boston. And I mean, he was just like that all the time. It wasn't a fake deal. I mean, he just was an angry kind of, fiery Italian kind of guy.
Oh, very fiery. And
Yeah.
Rich, you played with Bob Gibson.
Yes.
Was he one of the greatest pitchers ever?
Absolutely. And you talk about a competitor, when he would get on the mound, you might be great drinking buddies or party buddies, off the field. But when he put his uniform on and walked on the mound, you'd better be ready. You better be on your toes and not on your heels, or maybe just loose, because he'd just soon throw at you and hit you and knock you down and aggressively go after and try and strike you out. Everybody.
But you
out.
respected him for that.
Oh, my goodness sakes, what a competitor.
And
it's
Kitty,
110 degrees in St. Louis, and he's out there in the 8th inning, 9th inning, still throwing 90 miles an hour,
And Kitty, you played with Ozzie Guillen. Crazy back then as he is now?
Ozzie pays attention to the entire ballpark. He can tell you what outfits the fans are wearing, which vendors are where, who's got a loaded beer cart, and you're talking about certain people. Tom Seaver, when he came over to the White Sox, and he never threw batting practice with a screen in front of him. And this is a man who's going to be a Hall of Famer regardless. So his first spring training, I'm his first batter. You do your 2 bunts, your hit and run, and take your 10 swings. So everybody's around. We're at Payne Park, and I mean, it's massive. So I laid down my 2 bunts as a hit and run, and I hit a line drive right off Seaver's thigh. I mean, I knocked him to the ground. I mean, there was 50 people that ran to the mound like they were going to save the Titanic. And all of a sudden he gets up and he's all right. And I mean, I smoked it pretty good. The next pitch, he drilled me in my ribs.
Nice.
And not one person came to see me at home. But and that's what's fun. You have respect for him. I struck out one game, I think, in 2 pitches. It was so quick. And I walked back to the dugout, and Seaver was on one side of the cooler and Fisk was on the other side of the cooler. And I took the bat and I hit the spout on the Gatorade bucket. The lid popped off and the Gatorade went off on both of them. I mean, orange ice was on top of them. And I'm thinking I'm going to get my ass kicked. And Seaver goes, if you'd have swung at the last pitch, you had a better chance. So it's true competitiveness. Your friends, the camaraderie. Ozzy's going to say what Ozzy wants to say. He doesn't bat anymore. He doesn't catch the ball. Doesn't do any of that.
Right.
He just wants those guys to play as hard as he can for 9 innings and have fun.
Could you understand him back then when he gets excited?
I still don't understand him. But he used to point. And I know we can talk this. This is all in fun. He's playing shortstop one day, and I'm playing first base, and Greg Hibbard's on the mound, and Fred McGriff, great left-handed hitter, was batting, and somebody was on first base. So I'm holding a runner on it. All of a sudden, Greg Hibbard throws a changeup inside on an 0-2 count to Fred McGriff, and he hits it so hard, and I don't even know if it hit the ground or hit my glove, but it hit my wrist, and it went up in the stands at first base. And all I see was E3. So, and I didn't even see the damn ball. So all of a sudden, I'm yelling at Hibbert. I said, "Are you a stupid idiot? You can't throw a 0-2 changeup to, Fred McGriff inside. He's going to kill somebody." I said, "Throw that shit away." And Ozzy goes, "Shit, I want to have kids too. Don't let him out here." and I've got seam marks on my wrist,
And before we go, let everybody know what you guys are up to now. Eric, we'll start with you. What have you been up to?
Well, I'm an entrepreneur in the business world. 25 years ago, I started a company called Front Row Tickets, and it's grown into a multi-million-dollar business. But I retired from it about 6 years ago. I let my brothers run that, and I took some of the money from that, and I put it into a place. It's a healing arts center and spa. I got into the spa business with my daughter. And that is just doing phenomenal. So I'm very happy in the business world and doing something that I really enjoy doing now, helping people. I coach people.
Can you coach Kitty? Help him out a little bit? Heal
No,
him?
he's beyond help.
Oh.
I agree.
Yeah.
Rich,
But
how about you? I'm sorry.
When I left baseball, I went back to school and got a degree in veterinary medicine, and so I've been practicing for 32 years. The last 22 I've been doing nothing but exotic animals, exotic pets, which is birds and ferrets and rabbits and snakes and turtles and
He takes care of mine. I got 2 exotic birds. He takes care of my birds.
Exotic dancers. Nothing like that.
Anything exotic, right. And right now I'm kind of semi-retired. I consult, and I've got my own little corporation, and I try to play golf and practice and
He's pretty good at that, too.
Spend a lot of time with Eric.
And Kitty, how about you?
I'm doing a little bit of everything. I'm working for the White Sox, you know that. Hanging out at the ballpark. I'm doing PR for them, so I just do whatever they ask me to do. I started building these baseball bat benches as a hobby. It's almost turned into a business. I can do it full time. I don't even advertise. I leave a couple at the ballpark, and it's just kind of fun. And I do a lot of public speaking around the country, so I get many opportunities to speak in front of large groups. It's a lot of fun. You meet new people, just like here. You just have some fun with it. And we see each other often. I host a golf tournament and a charity. I don't get paid for that. I wish I did as many hours as I put into it. But these guys come out and support the cause for cancer. And I was just telling them I licked 1,000 letters, envelopes yesterday. And I'm about wore out already from just doing this all day long.
We play a lot of charity outings through the year. His is one of the best, if not the best. Yeah, he's got a great outing. I strongly encourage anybody to buy force him at Ron Kittle's outing because he raises a lot of money for those Indiana charities. So he's great.
Fantastic. Guys, thank you so much. This has been great. Kitty, Rich, Eric, thanks again to Sullivan Steakhouse. And you heard it here first, right here on MouthpieceSports.com.